Turn 10. Mark Selby to break.
Fergal O'Brien is alongside me. Fergal, no doubt like me, you're looking forward to seeing how this one unfolds.
Absolutely, Neil. Yeah, beautifully poised. All you could hope for that to be only just one frame in it. Obviously, yesterday he beat another rival, John Higgins, but I think this rivalry is more intense. Defeats against Mark seem to hurt more than defeats against John.
I mean, that 2020 World Championship semi-final, which O'Sullivan ended up winning, taking the last 3 frames, was some match. Since then, they have met in the Scottish Open final during lockdown. Mark Selby was a pretty easy winner. Ronnie didn't particularly want to get involved in long safety battles with Mark Selby, which I completely understand. Of course, there's not really a weakness in O'Sullivan's game, but he knows that he doesn't really fancy winning those kind of battles. Anyway, I'll take that little nudge. Though I didn't see him put his hand up, but there's no way in the world he played it.
Fight.
Of course, you've seen that famously during that famous semi-final where it seemed like if he was snookered as soon as he can, he just hit it.
6.
There was some suggestion he was being disrespectful to Mark Selby, but when it's your shot, play whatever shot you wish. There were 1 or 2 examples where I can't believe O'Sullivan played the right shot, but if it rattles your opponent, well, it's all part of the game.
12.
Yeah, I think he described it as he was going to play the match on his terms, which is fair enough. He won, and of course he became world champion again that year, beating Kyron Wilson in the final.
20. $27. 35. 36.
I think he wanted to play,
43.
ideally get a glance off the other red into the right corner. It's obviously a lot more difficult.
Very much so, because O'Sullivan very rarely would misjudge a cannon. I agree with you, Fergal. I think he played to hit the right-hand red of the 2. Maybe another cannon here. Well, he maybe thinks he can get onto the bottom red and this will open them up.
51. 52.
Just about goes. Of course, a little bit more pressure on the other red's being so open. Yeah, just
Ronnie
appeared he
O'Sullivan,
had half
52.
a pocket.
Well, now that's a potential moment, isn't it, already in this match session? The fact that O'Sullivan didn't go on and take advantage of that fluke with a frame-winning contribution.
So as the lazy
7.
prediction would be that Ronnie would do the heavy scoring.
6.
But the roles were reversed earlier. Of course, I don't think Mark gets the credit he deserves for the amazing break builder that he is.
Yeah, I mean, it's the all-round package, isn't it, with Mark? Yes, he can score, we know that. It's all of the other attributes to his game. He's the consummate match player, who no one particularly looks forward to playing in a long match, I don't think.
15.
Obviously the red on the left-hand side cushion
20.
is the biggest obstacle to making the clearance. If it's far enough away from the cushion that even if he
21.
lands behind it, it'd be too difficult just rolling it in pocket weight. Ideally would like to try and get a cannon just to take it away.
26.
At least if you land behind the red, you're guaranteed some shot.
27.
So a lot rests on the next shot, positionally on his next colour to establish which way he gets on the red. Obviously wanted to be top side of the blue.
Yeah, probably just screw back, come off the cushion a fraction. Yeah,
40.
far from ideal. If he does miss it, of course it's going to be left over the pocket. Might be able to play it in such a way that he could get cover from the black, but
Problem with this pot, I guess, is if you do miss it, it's hard to imagine that you wouldn't leave it.
yeah, I think if you're going to go, you'd have to totally commit, play pocket weight.
Selby. 40.
Well, now that's a moment each. The missed red is one thing, and it was difficult. The missed black from O'Sullivan previously. One of these two is going to end up losing this frame and being disappointed.
One.
He's very conscious in playing that red to make sure he was low on the black. Leave a natural angle, did you just pot the black? Should be perfect on the yellow.
Eight.
Frames you lose always hurt less when you haven't had a chance. Of course, would be the chance to go 6-4 up, as it is with this green. 5-all.
13.
Interesting frame it's been, isn't it? Just the way that it's hand out. But it's moments
17.
in these sort of matches. Shot that goes wrong positionally. Ultimately, it wasn't so much the missed red, it was the positional shot before. The red was very missable. And it's his last shot in the frame, Mark Selby, because Ronnie O'Sullivan has gone on to take it. So, interesting start to tonight's snooker. Mark Selby's got a very proud record in that he's beaten Ronnie O'Sullivan in the final of the UK, the Masters and the World Championships. Some achievement. The Masters is even more of a feat because O'Sullivan gets a huge following in London. For balance, O'Sullivan has beaten Selby in 2 Masters finals.
Yeah, Mark's great patience, great discipline. Always gives it those extra few seconds to play a shot that he feels a more or less guarantee keeping it safe. Just to keep it tight.
One.
Again, what's safe against Ronnie O'Sullivan? The barometer is a little bit different.
Eight.
He's finished in between on his colour here, isn't he? He's not really on the blue, that's awkward. The yellow will be the answer, but not a simple yellow. I think I'd rather him punching that in around the angles than playing it the way he did.
Again, same problem for Mark here. Where's the next colour going to come from? With the black tied up.
One.
And again with the pink and black more or less out of commission. Ideal now to have the blue on its spot. Yeah,
Seven.
played it with topspin to try and get up the table. Obviously, we're going to play with topspin.
So rather an unlikely outcome to that shot, nearly knocking the yellow in down the cushion. Whether he did know about it or not,
13.
his way of getting on it was unconventional.
Maybe look looking to get on this red, just above the black. Of course, when he pots
18.
this, gone up for the blue. But it's freed the black into the right corner.
$19. 24.
Didn't play for that red originally.
25.
This will free the path for that other red, close to the pink spot.
31.
He's got a little bit of thinking to do, but he's not straightforward this break.
A slight kick there.
44.
Just asked the referee now to clean the white.
45.
Would like to be low on the black, have an angle when he's putting the black to be able to disturb the red away from the pink.
53.
Yeah, played it well. Trace a left hand side just to get the white ball back up. Parallel now with the black. It must have been able to go the way he
16.
played it. Push the red to the one side cushion, and then the white ball would be hamper queuing for the other red.
Mark Selby. 60.
Sullivan won't have given up hope of winning this frame. Got to try and push this red into play if he can. Certainly leave the cue ball safe. It isn't an awfully difficult table if a chance came. Selby's usually got very good defensive skills in frames like this. Now the pink going a little awkwardly, clearly not in his favour, O'Sullivan. When Selby knows that the scoreboard is a factor in this frame, 39 points, so 2 reds in bulk. That's why he played that red instead of the other one and pushed it down towards the black. Oh, that's a kiss from the gods for O'Sullivan. It's not quite what he's looking for, don't think, but...
Trying to get the snooker, leaving the red close to the pocket.
He's put some pressure on him, though, Selby here, because, you know, the likelihood is a mistake would still cost him. Well, it wasn't anywhere near as thin as that. Overcutting it, that he hasn't left the red on. That's quite a bad misjudgment. Crashed into the other red as well. I don't think that was his initial plan, but in the end, looking for a little bit of cover.
Push the red onto the other side cushion. The white gone close towards the pink. All black.
Goodness me, what a moment that is. What a moment. I mean,
4.
it was a little heavy-handed, but of course the cue ball was well controlled. Quite a dramatic thing to happen. I don't think O'Sullivan ever thought this was going to happen, because he's walking around as if to escape from the snooker, and then he discovered that there was a foul, there's a free ball. He executed the shot from the first part of the shot very well, but not the second part. Of course, he runs the risk here, putting him back in, that if he hits the red near the pocket, he pots it. Wow. How did he not go in off that?
He's still there.
I mean, how could you have seen this happening? Goodness me. I mean, the in-off. Well, there's lots of value in playing that shot and hardly any chance of leaving a red on.
Mark Selby, 1.
Again, just needed the one snooker, particularly where the yellow and blue are. Apart from even the other colours.
Played it beautifully. I don't know why he was all that worried about the pink being out. The only worry is to stop Sullivan getting a snooker right now, and especially now that he's in one. Oh, a chance to get the frame one here for Selby. Well, that will seal the deal. He'll win the frame, Mark Selby. It's been a long one. And knocking the yellow in playing that snooker, perhaps.
8. 11.
Early on, Ronnie Sullivan led 2-0, but from the afternoon session, Selby just edged it 5-4.
20.
So Mark Selby ends up winning a fairly lengthy 11th frame. Mark Selby leads Ronnie O'Sullivan here in Shanghai 6-5. I said before that Ronnie O'Sullivan doesn't want to get embroiled in long tactical battles. He kind of did in that previous frame. I think he would like to stay positive and be aggressive where he can. It's his best chance of winning. Pretty out of character that Selby would play a safety shot, which has gone wrong, but it certainly has this time. He's forced to play off the side of the bunch, Selby, and of course reds can always just drift out close to pockets.
Seven.
The pink gone on the black spot helps.
8. 14. 15. 17.
Just picking off these open reds, looking for an opportunity to get an angle on ideally the pink to be able to go into the pack.
18. 24. 25.
Ideally doesn't want to be straight here. I'd like to have a little bit of an angle to get away. Seems to be okay. Screw back off the cushion.
32.
Yeah, ideally going into the pack, he was better from the other side. He had the opportunity a couple of shots ago.
38.
Seemed to be a greater margin for error. But coming from the other side.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 38.
Yeah, he seemed to wait until the latest opportunity he could to go into the bunch, which is not like him. He could have gone in earlier.
Yeah, beautifully struck shot from Mark. I did hit that red that's nearly on the pink spot.
Six.
Nicely controlled.
Seven. Thirteen.
Well, the O'Sullivan lead of 38
14.
seemed insignificant, but actually, with that red up the table on the left, of course, Selby can't get anywhere near the winning line without taking that red. May leave it till the end,
21.
but it gives O'Sullivan hope that it's there.
Yeah, ideally I think yellow looks the best opportunity to try and take that red out. But yeah, that's a few shots away. So Mark will have a general picture in his mind. Really have broken that down just to shot by shot.
27.
First priority, of course, is to put all these open
28.
reds and then put himself in a position to try and pot a colour and take out that last red.
34. 35.
You saw the shake of the head there. He isn't the right angle on the blue for the two reds. Certainly not to get close to them. Just at mid-range. It's not too bad.
$41.
If it's an angle here, I might be tempted to play in the pink.
47.
Can't get up to the yellow. It's half ball on the pink, be able to play a cannon on the red. Ideally push it towards the corner.
48.
Looks ideal angle there.
Yeah, and I think the red is just that nice distance away from the cushion. It's not on it. It's not 2 or 3 inches further to the right where you could go around the back. It looks the perfect target, doesn't it? But not a big enough target, it turns out. Surprised by that. Now he's snookered. So that's a
54.
potential game changer, that last shot.
It seemed a very big target there to hit.
Well, now O'Sullivan having a little dart at this down the cushion. What a shot. What a shot it was. I can think of players who mightn't have taken it on. Now that it's gone in, there's been a big swing in this frame. In the last 2 or 3 shots, always looked in, but only just made it. So a chance for a quick counter-attack from O'Sullivan. Still got to take these because they'll lead up to it, including the pink. Actually, also
7.
they'll lead the black, in fact, won't he? It'll be 7 in front by then. But it shouldn't be a big problem.
10. 14.
I miscounted there. It's to his relief. He won't need the black. That makes the job a lot easier. Well, that was a big swing. It's only a frame, but it feels like a significant frame because Selby was in a strong position after O'Sullivan's early mistake. It's all square again, 6-all. Selby lost control once he didn't get the cannon on the last red. But this is the highest level. It's the smallest margins at times, which make all the difference.
The red all right. We'll look for the mid-range pot. Beautifully.
One.
With a lovely pace, didn't it? Absolutely perfect.
Yeah, he didn't get those right, did he? I mean, when you see that cue ball just stay in the middle of the table, having hit the pink square on, that's when you know the reds are going to split. So it wasn't one of his best shots. It wasn't particularly unlucky, that split. He didn't play it overly well.
Good safety shot there from Marley. He hit a fraction harder than he wanted. With these pots, but it does pot a good chance to be on one of the ball colours. Yeah, it wasn't easy, of course.
A few mutterings from O'Sullivan sitting there. Very difficult at this stage to say how this match is going to go, but you just get the feeling it's going to go quite deep, given the nature of the frames, that there isn't going to be a player run away with it from here. It's been a little edgy. Been some very good shots, but just the odd error which have been very significant when they've been made.
Judged the pace that very well.
Five. Ten.
Might be tempted to go into the pack, just avoid the pink.
Played it pretty well, didn't he? It's not 16. On an easy red, but cue ball stayed in the centre of the table. You still need luck, though. It's an awkward shot that he's faced with here. Thin cut.
Mark Selby. 16. One.
He's got very well. And getting on it as soon as possible.
There's a prime example, Fergal, isn't it? Either the red to the left of the black or the one right next to it. And you can see how they open everything up. The black's now open to both pockets, or will be when the next red's potted, and that's the art of break building, isn't it? Well, he doesn't seem very happy with that one. He's overstunned, I think. Can he get to the red? Well, that'd be annoying if you're sitting in a chair, because for a second you think you're okay.
Yeah, it looked like he was just playing it out of frustration, but actually went just about. Again, very uncharacteristic normally when he's in amongst the balls.
I always think that if you're 50-50 on those, whether you think they will or won't go, they're usually just about, just in favour of them going. But he was a bit half-heartedly playing it, and he doesn't seem to have the usual consummate cue ball control here.
30.
It's gone again. Yeah, you can see he's fuming. Such a good opportunity.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 30.
It means the frame is still anybody's.
Just got to be careful he doesn't get a double kiss in the red or hit the other red close to the pocket. The red closest to the left-hand corner pocket. If that wasn't there, that shot would have been a lot easier.
One. Eight.
Again, it's Mark's turn here.
Nine.
Want to counter-attack all the balls up in the open. Trying to steer the white across.
12. 13. 20. 21. 27.
'Just needs a couple of reds and blacks and frame is done.
35.
I think that hurts him more than anything when he doesn't have the control that we're used to seeing him with.
That doesn't know, you know, photographers will.
So I think Selby will be relieved after everything that's happened in this 4-frame session to still hold on to any kind of a lead.
55.
But there's plenty more in this match, a lot of mileage left.
59.
It already is a very gripping encounter.
64. 70. 77.
77 break from Mark Selby. So Selby and O'Sullivan have shared the first 4 frames of the evening.
One.
Played it well there, cued it lovely.
8.
A little bit unfortunate to be slightly hampered queuing. Again, if it just drops it in pocket weight.
9. 16. 17.
It doesn't, not as quick or make it look as easy as O'Sullivan does.
22.
But nobody does. Nobody ever has.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's got to play the game in their own way.
23.
No but 2 players can be exactly the same.
$28. 29.
Yeah. 779 centuries in his career. Surprisingly, he's done
36.
most of the heavy scoring. It's getting to the stage in the modern game. You have to have 1,000 centuries to be
37.
considered a great break builder.
44.
Just looking to see when potting this red, Got a contact, he might get in the red. Can he find the gap?
45.
Just has a pot it, screw back. Should have been choice of reds.
Yeah, I'd be pleased enough with that.
51. $57. 58.
64 head. This red, another colour.
64.
Should be the frame secured. Should be able to hold for the black.
$65.
Yes, I mean, this is frame ball, but he would certainly like another red just to seal the deal, and it's not a simple red that he'll be playing on. Ooh. Wow.
Mark Selby.
In
65.
concerning himself with the red, he did something I don't think Fergal and I expected. That was a surprise that he missed that.
Very intelligent mistake by Mark there. You have to be conscious of the fact in potting the pink, Ronnie would still need a snooker.
7.
Just pot the pink, play a very good safety. You're still going to stay in control.
He did something that everyone has done in the game. You almost take your eye off the pot, or certainly think maybe a little too far ahead of yourself, because it was frame ball. But now the moment, it might be easy to get a black with each red.
Yeah, similar
16.
pattern to earlier on, but I think of all the frames that could have the most damage. Potentially, it will be this one. Not that he was so close to winning the frame. It was such a terrible mistake, you would have to say, for Mark.
It's going to be a task to pop the black off that red up by his hand now at the other end of the table. Because it's one thing getting on the red, but with an angle to play on the black, that's not easy. Look at this for a shot, Fergal. Goodness me, that's absolutely A1.
31.
That is brilliant.
Yeah. For a moment, did you forgot who was playing? Yeah, beautiful shot.
Well, that's a bit much, someone moving. Clearly, this is a very important passage of play here, the most important in the match. Sullivan's played a sensational positional shot and he's got distracted by somebody.
And the black as well didn't even look like he did it too hard.
Well, this really is quite a moment. I mean, a clearance and a half if he makes it.
39.
I don't think I've seen many better positional shots than that for a very long time. He had to get perfectly on the red with an angle to get on the black. He judged it. Like the genius he is.
41.
Yes, it did hit it with much power. It's a beautiful strike on the white. Mark Selby, very strong mentally. This will hurt.
He's just got to do it still, hasn't he? And brown to blue is always the last possible stumbling block. Position on the blue is key.
48.
And again, just pot the blue, come off the cushion, make sure you get high on the pink.
$53.
Beautifully played.
$59.
So the black for an absolutely sensational clearance. Well, what a turnaround that is from O'Sullivan. That was absolutely brilliant. Selby missing frame ball, seemingly very easy, but what a clearance from O'Sullivan. Top notch. That wonderful clearance would have really hurt him, but it's made this match even more fascinating than it already was, quite honestly. Most wonderful clearance you'll see.
Again, like previous frames at the start, both players battling away, looking to try and take control of the frame, get the first chance. Beautiful.
I mean, his long game has always been a feature of his game, but still perhaps not to the extent of one or two other players in the world. And that is happening as well. And even better, he's certainly got the black into play. Is he on something? Deserves to be. Good shot to move that red away from the other one. They were both in each other's way. And it looks like he's pushed it away from the black spot as well. So is that previous frame going to be a huge momentum shift in the whole of this match?
14.
I feel like things have changed completely.
Yeah, Mark would have never thought after playing his last shot that he could potentially lose the frame. But it seems just a blink of an eye. Ronnie's in prime position. And again, the white ball travelling as short as distance as possible.
23. Sud.
I think he kind of
31.
accepted the fact that Mark plays hard, tough max snooker against everybody. Wasn't deliberately trying to do some spoiling tactics to stop Ronnie.
Yeah, I mean, I think spoiling tactics don't really work enough, do they? You've got to pot the balls in the end. I mean, that's always going to be the way to beat anybody. I know what you mean. You can put players out of their stride, and you're right, Selby has not been doing that. You know, he is a different player to O'Sullivan. I don't think Ronnie's always had the patience to deal with it. But
Yeah, Selby hasn't changed. Ronnie's just had to change in accordance to playing Mark.
he's going to play a red to the middle here, which would develop another one.
46.
Important shot that it goes in for O'Sullivan, this.
47.
Almost an injection of pace in this match here with what's happened in the last 15 or so minutes.
54.
Brilliant long red that he knocked in. Just a bit more to do. Not sure where the pink will go here. That's the one issue. So he's not
61.
quite done enough. Unless he can play the double and get it. Well, there's your answer. And perfectly played with the cue ball as well.
$69.
69 ahead, just needs this thin clip red into the middle. Should.
O'Sullivan 69.
Again,
Mark
has an
74.
impact. He doesn't go off, he's 70 ahead. Going in off there, he's 65 ahead, 67 behind.
No comeback in the frame then. Yeah, the shot to nothing Fergal mentioned was
1.
very much a shot to nothing. I mean, what an outcome that would have been had even O'Sullivan missed the red. Anyway, he's not touching ball. He's just got to be careful that he doesn't do anything silly here.
It's foul.
Oh, he's called a foul.
Didn't move.
Wow, what a call that is. What a call from the referee. Is that a foul? Well, look, the point is, it was very nearly touching ball anyway.
Well, you can't really say 100% he hit it. Trying to imply that the crowd said he hit it as well.
I'm not sure how they're going to resolve this because referee's given it and you can't go by what the crowd say, can you? Oh, it definitely moved. The brown moved.
100%.
It was a legal shot. The referee needs to change that. I got that wrong.
I think that clapping of the crowd is seeing the video themselves.
Extraordinary call from the referee. Goodness me. Referee Wang Wei has decided that was no contact made. How could he possibly come up with that decision? Well, first of all, if I saw what happened now, I would just concede the frame if I was Mark. If I'd seen the foul, and that would move on, because for me, it's pretty obvious that he hit it. Ronnie is not going to make that up. And yeah, I mean, the brown has obviously and clearly moved. Not much, but doesn't have to be much. Are we in agreement, Fergal?
Absolutely.
No foul. He's going to have to reverse this, I'm afraid. He's put himself in a bad position, this referee. Whether he was actually in a bad position at the time, literally, to see it.
Okay. Firm conceded.
Okay, so no foul, so he's reversed it, but the frame is conceded because Mark Selby is too many behind. He's in a pretty vile snooker as well because the foul was changed. But what a dramatic moment that was. And it's the Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan, leading by 8 frames to 7. Well, players just resumed. Referee has set the balls up very hastily there, and we're underway again here in Shanghai. We've had a dramatic couple of frames in very different ways for different reasons. The clearance from O'Sullivan was sublime, and then that extraordinary decision of referee Wang Wei. Just on that, you were speaking, Fergal, about that frame 3 where he fouled O'Sullivan for what looked as simultaneous contact between red and black. I must say, I thought that was a good call.
Foul.
Yeah, referee calls foul. It might be worth another look. It was very close, wasn't it?
Mark Selby, 7.
Well, even Selby's not sure.
Yeah, this is good by Mark Selby, isn't it? Because he obviously feels it was incredibly close, which it was. And he's asking for a look. He wants to win the correct way.
Yeah.
The referee's spoken to the marker,
Black
who
first.
is confirming black first.
Yeah, it was excellent by Mark, wasn't it? Questioning. Here it is again. Oh, that is close, isn't it? There's an argument it was red first, isn't there? I mean,
Yeah.
very marginal, but oh, that is close, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be onto the middle. Is it?
Because at first I thought he'd hit the red, but it was so close, it's hard to say that he got it wrong.
Yeah, I think it was probably simultaneous, which obviously a foul. Defer to the referee there. He obviously made a mistake at first, but he didn't compound the mistake by getting stubborn. He realised his mistake. Mark, are we relieved that Ronnie missed that long pot? Again, we're looking to get that red away from the black. trying to make a break here.
6.
Yeah, I mean, Mark Selby's had a couple of setbacks in the last 2 frames. If he wins this frame, we're back to all square again. He's not out of it by any means.
14.
Don't miss the red trying to be too clever.
15.
Again, I said it. He's taken 2 good pots.
22.
He's now back in prime position.
23. 28. Mark Selby.
Again, got too
28.
preoccupied with that. Instead of playing just one shot at a time. Missed that and actually hit it quite badly. Probably more like just a lapse of concentration rather than the difficulty of the shot.
Well, he's on the walk, wasn't he? You think he believed he'd got it, which makes me think that you're right when you say he was preoccupied by position. He was thinking ahead too far, perhaps. That's quite an important miss.
Nine.
Yeah, that's where you wanted to be. I'd be a bit disappointed there. Quite judge it. Come through a little bit further than they would have liked. And then just accepted where he was, made sure of it. Beautiful stroke.
17.
Yeah, the way he hit the cue ball, it just pinged back off the pink ball. It's absolute delight to see a shot like that. I do think that great players can read signs. They can see weakness.
22.
And O'Sullivan, I think, smells blood here with a chance to press on in this match.
23. Shoot. $38. $39. 46.
That red on the side cushion we didn't want. It just makes this red a little bit more difficult.
47.
Again, looked simple there, but beautiful control, beautiful delivery of the cue. Would have been very easy to let the white ball go too far. Back in prime position.
Just check the score briefly there. He knows that whatever's in the middle of the table is more than enough to get this frame one as well.
53.
Well, certainly coming into this event, there were questions to be answered by O'Sullivan. Not about him as a player, he's the greatest we've ever seen, but where his game is right now. He hadn't played since Luca Brazil knocked him out of the World Championships. I think he's just answering these questions here. Whatever happens for the remainder of the tournament, that his match game
68.
is right up there, and this is a frame ball.
69.
Yeah, he said yesterday after his win that he hasn't played well in 18 months.
76.
I'd love his bad game.
Yeah, I don't know if the spark has been there that we sometimes see with O'Sullivan and people anticipate seeing, but certainly occasions like this
82.
are enough to really get the juices flowing for O'Sullivan. He's at the point now where he's a frame away from a pretty famous victory, it has to be said. Will he get the century? Wow, what did you will now?
87.
He's already got 1,206 in his career. And this one is an important one.
91.
Mark Selby's not going to give up.
192.
what about that? O'Sullivan has really sprung into life in the last 3 frames. Selby looked like taking a 2-frame lead, but O'Sullivan has come back 9-7 up, needs 1 more frame for a place in the final. Now, certainly matches of any duration can change on 1 shot. Now, this match is not over, but the pink that Mark Selby missed to go 8-6 up has turned out into almost a seismic shift in the way this match has been played out since.
Mark Selby 4.
Quite a telling miss there, I think. The previous frames went differently. I don't think he'd missed that.
Yeah, he wasn't on it perfectly, but like you say, expected him to get it. Maybe he was worried about the cannon on the reds. He wanted to pot it in the thick side of the pocket. Leaving O'Sullivan an early in is not going to help Mark Selby's chances of getting back into this match.
Pot this just before the middle pocket. Strong left-hand side. Slid off the side of the pack.
5.
Could have hit some of the reds rather than the pink.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 5.
I mean, he had a choice of reds there. The other red that he could have played, the straighter one, which was below the one he missed, would have been, I guess, a tougher pot.
And twice over the years in finals, actually, Mark's won the last 4 frames to beat him. I'm sure both players remember those comebacks quite well.
Foul. Mark Selby 4.
Well, they'd be annoyed. I mean, to going off might be a slightly better outcome than hitting the jaw and seeing the cue ball come back towards the reds.
Difficult shot. And of course he knows if he misses it, there's every chance he'll leave a red. He's to commit fully to the pot. The back's there waiting for him.
Well, if he was playing well, he would have knocked it in. Of course, it was a long red. Those are never easy, but just the shift in this match makes shots like that even more difficult, I think. A lot of this game is played between the ears.
One.
It wasn't so much even the difficulty of the pot, just the consequences of it. Which weren't helped, of course, by what's happened the last half hour or so.
6. 7.
Like the difficult red here.
14.
Again, just has to pot it. If it doesn't have an angle, just drop it in dead weight. Need the blue then into the green pocket with a red to wait.
15.
Play that well.
You think about, it was only 7-all after that clearance, but it just feels that there's only one of the two players going to be happy at 7-all. And it's not going to be Selby. Just the way the frame went. And since then, it's been one-way traffic.
$26.
Yeah.
27.
Then took the round straight away, identified it, the key red. Backed himself to get in perfect position.
34. 35.
Just over screwed at a fraction there.
41. 42.
Judged it quite well. You feel if this cannon goes right, should be the end of the match.
Yeah, and he might have been aware of that, actually screwing off the bunch onto that red.
49.
Might not have been the immediate plan, but he knew it could happen. So he's almost there now, and it's been a terrific game of snooker, this. One shot, I think, changed it. The Selby miss for frame ball. Just got to finish it off here, but he's got a real spring in his step now, O'Sullivan.
55.
He sees the winning line.
All his many strengths. I think getting perfect on the blue
56.
seems to do it more often than anybody else. Makes break building a lot easier. I think now 59 ahead, 59 left.
62.
Well, it's just about done, isn't it? This match, what a game it's been. This is match ball.
53.
So I think this will be a very satisfying victory for Ronnie O'Sullivan. As I say, there's been some doubts as to exactly where his game is, certainly from people who appreciate he's not played for many months. Certainly all the practice in the world is nothing like a match, and this has been a real match against a consummate match player, and he's come through it flying colours.
Yeah, not so much the win, just even the manner of the win.
77.
We've just seen his interview after, how he rates this. Probably
78.
just above average, I'd say. But again, it's been a fantastic performance. But Mark will be ruined and regretting that miss on the pink. Again, if he goes 8-6 up,
85.
he could be telling a different story now.
86.
Well, Neil Robertson or Luca Brissell await him in the final.
81.
That'll be tomorrow.
93.
I think the feature of both of these matches is the way that he's finished them. The match with John Higgins
96.
from 5-2 down, he wasn't playing brilliantly, but he just swept past John in the end. John made that mistake,
100.
took full advantage. The same kind of things happened here. He's finished really powerfully in this match. Somebody shouts brilliant, and it is. It's been a great game.
Eleven.
Sensational. What a match. What a player. What a champion. Mark Selby very gracious in defeat. He'll be disappointed the way that it panned out. But of course the Rocket Ronnie O'Sullivan, the way he beat Mark Selby, 10-70. Great performance, and the crowd absolutely loved what they saw.